Hi everyone, how are you all today? Hope you're feeling well. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which I am under Happy Stitcher. Today is going to be a bit of a different video because I do floss tube videos and I also do colouring tube videos and I also do my makeup videos as well. I was thinking today, because obviously with it becoming up to the new year, New Year's Eve today, by the way, Happy New Year to everyone. I do want to, in this year, I do want to start picking up my book reading again, obviously for self-development and to get through most of the books that I have, because I have quite a few books and there's quite a few that actually needs to get read now, so I can pass those books on and make room for more books. So, and obviously I've watched YouTube videos as well. I've noticed quite a few people doing book reviews and BookTube videos as well, and it is something that I actually wanted to give a try myself. So today I've got 3 books on my lap which I've actually read myself. I won't go obviously really in depth with the books because obviously I don't want to, if you haven't read that book yourself and it may be something that you're interested in, I don't want to actually spoil the book for you before you've even had a chance to get it and read it for yourself. So the first one that I'm actually going to quickly talk about is this one called Fallen. It's in a series at the minute, and I'm not going to quote how many books there is, but I've personally got about 3 or 4. There could be more. I really haven't checked, so please do not quote me on that. This book is by Lauren Kate, and I've only read the first book at the minute. I read this a little while ago. I love this. I remember I went to read it first time round and for some reason I couldn't quite grasp it, I couldn't quite get into it, and I struggled to, you know, sometimes when you read a book and you struggle to actually understand it, and that I couldn't really get into it at the time, so I did put it down. And a few months ago I actually went back to it and I looked through and I thought I'm going to give that book a try again, and I'm glad that I did, because when I was reading it I could not put it down. I had it with me all the time. I even took it to college with me and I used to read it before I used to go into class. So basically I'm going to read the back of it and I'm not going to give too much away obviously. It's Some angels are destined to fall. Yeah, sorry, it's alright, my husband's trying to talk to me as well. Right, before I carry on, I'm just going to read the back of this. Instant, wildly familiar. The moment loose looks at Daniel. She knows she never felt like this before. Except she can't shake the feeling that she has, and with him, a boy she doesn't remember even setting eyes on. Will her attempt to find out why enlighten her or destroy her? Obviously, I know what it's about without giving it too much away. Lucy, she's a bit of a lost soul, to be honest, what I think. She goes to stay at this special place for quite a while, and it's a bit like an institute, and she finds out lots of secrets even about herself there. She finds out a massive secret about herself, and this Daniel, she finds out secrets about him, about her friends. She meets new friends, she meets an enemy. Obviously lots of books meet enemies and that, but it's got a bit of a love story to it as well. Not so much as other books do, but it is quite nice actually. It will go in depth more with the second book. I don't want to give a lot away, but I really do recommend it. It has got a bit of a gothic feel to it as well. Kind of a gothic love story. And all I'm going to mention, without giving it away, past lives. Obviously, you know past lives are. So this is a definite must read. This is priced at $9.99, but you can actually get it cheaper from Amazon or eBay. And the Fallen series has recently come out, or is it coming out on TV?
Due soon.
it's actually due soon out on television, so that is a definite must read. I absolutely love that. I have got the second one and I've got the third one, so when I finish what I'm currently reading, I probably will go on to the second one. So that is your first book in the Fallen series. Definitely worth a try. This one, I've never read any of Sophie McKenzie's books before. To be honest, I'll be honest now, I'd never heard of her before. Going back a couple of months ago, my mother-in-law, she had some books, because my mother-in-law loves reading. She goes through different types of books. She reads Clive Cussler, she reads quite a few, but she got this one and she said to me, she said she could not put this down. She read it in 2 days flat. Now with me, when I read a book, I think the quickest I've read a book in is probably about 2 days. Sometimes it can take me a very long while, but this is a thrill. It's based on, this is a thriller. There is quite a bit of horror in it as well, but it's more thriller like. It's really, it gets you, how can I explain it, it gets you intense, gets you on the edge, sitting on the edge of your seat. I'm going to read the back of it. Right. When friends tell lies, who can you trust? Julia has always been the friend that Livy turns to when life is difficult. United 18 years ago by grief at the brutal murder of Livy's sister Cara, they always told each other everything, or so Lizzie thought. When a fresh tragedy strikes, Livy cannot accept that Julia is supposed to have done, but little does she realise that digging into her best friend's private life will tear the very fabric of her own existence apart. It says this fast-moving thriller saves the most shocking twists until the very end, which it did have a shocking twist to it. I can vouch for myself. And that's what the Sunday Mirror actually says. And the quote from Glamour is, an intense tale that preys on one of our deepest fears, that we might not be able to trust those closest to us. Because obviously sometimes we do have those fears, and the closest says you won't believe this novel's creepy twists and turns, and it does have a few creepy twists and turns to it. Now, if you remember me saying just that the quickest that I've read a book is in 2 days flat, this one I read it in a day. Honestly, I started it in the morning and actually finished it the night. That's how hooked on this book I really was. Sophie McKenzie does quite a few books as well, thriller books. I have got to get some more of her books to read. This one is priced at $7.99, but you can get this one cheaper as well from Amazon or eBay. So that if you are into your thriller books, then I definitely recommend that. She is such a brilliant author. I think what gives an author that brilliance is the wording to it, the wording that they use, which is absolutely fantastic. And you can probably hear my cat in the background playing with his little toy on his basket thing. So that is that one. The last book that I've actually read, I read this recently. I had this one for Christmas off my mother-in-law, and it's called True Crime. She brought me this one because I've recently been watching Forensic Science on Netflix, because I am actually really interested in all the forensic science and how they can solve cases through the tiniest things of like fragments of a carpet, and they can solve this big massive case. So she actually brought me this big book for Christmas. Basically, it's true stories of the world's infamous murderers, thieves and con men. It dates back from the 1920s. Basically, it gives you, without saying too much, it gives you a basic, quick description of different crimes throughout the age, like I said, going back from the 1920s up until the latter years. And I should quickly read the back. It said, True Crime presents rogues gallery of murderers and mobsters, cannibals and conmen, outlaws and assassins, because it does have a little bit about Billy the Kid in as well from the Outlaws. The men and women from whom law and life had little value, the monsters from whom killing was a way of life. Superbly illustrated with a pic of the unique crime collection of Getty Images, True Crime opens up the files on over 100 of the most notorious crimes and criminals in history. Here are the serial killers who terrorised entire cities, men and women who killed for love, and gangsters who conducted their business with a gun, and rogue traders whose weapons was a laptop, newly updated to include some of the worst deeds of the 21st century. So yeah, like I said, it goes from 1920s to latter. It probably goes from even earlier than that. I read this in about 2-3 days. It does look fairly thick, so, but actually it does have images in as well. I must admit, if you're like me, I don't care for the images that much, because obviously, call me silly, call me daft, but when I have a book, I like to read, but if it's a true crime book, for some reason it gives me the heebie-jeebies to have a book with a picture of the killer on the front. I just get this really weird eerie feeling that not that they're watching me, but I'm stupid like that. I just don't like to see the faces of them. I'm odd, yeah, because you're probably thinking, well, you're reading the books, but yeah, they just give me the heebie-jeebies having the pictures on there. So like I said, I don't care for the pictures that very much, but it does give you quite a bit of an insight into these people, especially like with the mobsters in the earlier age, especially with the Krays and that. Obviously the Krays are quite popular, notorious, through to the actual serial killers of the 19th century. And that, I think, what was the one that it did mention one in here, and I was quite shocking by that. I'd never heard much about him before, but it was a bit, I think it was the worst one that I'd actually heard about anyway. It didn't go into it really deep talk, because like I said, they're covering 100 stories in here, so it's actually just a little bit of information about each. But yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, well, if you're into the kind of thing like true crime and forensics and that, this is more like true crimes. It's for you. Everyone might not be into it, but it's a good book to read. It's not a bad book, quite interesting to actually read up on. So that is that. So those of the books where I've actually up to at the minute. I have read tons of books through my past, but obviously if I got every single book down that I've read, I'd probably be here forever. So those are the 3 books that I've actually read. I shall probably do another book review when I've gone through 3 more books. I am reading one called It at the minute by Stephen King, and it is taking me such a long time to read, because if a few of you might have heard of It, but Stephen King books, especially it is a very, very thick book. It's very interesting, it's very, very detailed, which I think makes the book so thick, and it is really good. I'll admit sometimes I struggle to actually grasp and understand the words. I sometimes drift off. I think it's because the book is that long, but once I'm into it, I do like it. So there you go. Thank you for joining me for my first ever BookTube. Please leave a comment below, let me know what you think, if there's anything that I could improve upon or nothing. Give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Like I said, I do a few videos. All the videos I do may not be for you, but if they are, then that's great. I do floss tube videos, colouring tube. I do a couple of makeup videos as well, because I'm actually a makeup presenter as well. And I'm also looking at doing these book reviews now. So thank you ever so much for joining me, and I shall see you again soon. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, because at least then I know that I'm actually making people happy by bringing out my videos, and I really do appreciate it. And one more thing before you go, if you, excuse me, if you are a gamer person, or if you have a partner that is a gamer person and you like watching YouTube videos, please check out Crow Angel Gaming. Crow Angel Gaming, he's actually my husband, Simon Lewis, and he does quite a few absolutely brilliant, fantastic videos. He's doing videos on Assassin's Creed at the minute, Syndicate, which I myself, I must admit, I am very interested in, because it's set in the old, is it 18th century? Victorian, and it is really interesting because it's like the Jack the Ripper era, and it's like in the city of London, and you're going through all the streets and that, and it is really good, really interesting. He also does mod reviews as well on different games and that, and he does a funny moments on a GTA, which a lot of the time they are really funny. They are really, really funny. It's definitely worth watching, so please check that out. And I shall see you again soon. One more quick shout out as well is Sarah Churchill also does a lot of book reviews as well, so please check her out. She's absolutely fantastic, and I shall see you again soon. Bye! And I've pressed the wrong one. Bye! Time to go.